I can't wait to get back into Destiny. I've got major withdrawals. Anyway.
You guys barely even play. Grax doesn't even play, or don't you have...
we got some things to say about it, actually. We're going to talk about it. We'll get into it.
All right. Let's get into the show. Do you want to start the
I'm
jingle?
Waiting for you.
All right. No worries. All right. Hello and welcome to episode 7 of Control Alt Record. My name is Chris, and with you in this episode is Brett, Grax, and returning to us after our last episode is Michael. Tonight we've got a bit of news. We're doing a Wolfenstein review with Brett. The Fuck You Award is back. We're going to talk about Destiny 2, and we're going to have a quiz towards the end of the show. If you do like our show, though, jump onto iTunes, give us a rating and a review, and also check out our other channels like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and you'll find the links to all those things in the description of this episode. Let's get into it.
You're listening to Control Alt Record.
All right, so we're going to start with news. It's not going to be shit news and random news that we normally do. It's actually going to be a couple of actual bits of gaming news for a change. So one thing that was announced recently by Razer is they are releasing the Razer mobile smartphone. So that was announced, I think, what was it, last week or a week before?
Something like that.
Within the last, something like that.
Was it within the last week? Yeah.
Within the last week or so. I think it was...
Chris, can I ask a quick question?
You can.
Are we recording?
Yeah?
Okay, good. Just checking. Keep going.
Brilliant. I'll cut that out. I'll cut that bit out. Carry on, Chris.
Why would we do the
A great addition to the show there.
Yeah, good job.
Just adding.
He's got to warm up for the absence, you know.
We literally said we're recording
honestly,
now, and we're starting.
I was worried Brett had forgot to press the button, and I was paranoid, so I had to say it.
To be fair, I don't think I have actually ever done that. Well, no, I haven't. I definitely have in the past, but not in the past few weeks.
I think
I was worried. That's all. I was worried.
Okay, so the Razer phone.
So this section's more like more like breaking news then, you know.
Yeah. So the Razer phone, which is coming out, I think, is it sort of later this year, early next year, I think was given us an estimated release date, coming in at a US $699, which isn't really too bad of a price when you look at. Well, I think when you look at the iPhone 10 cost, because what's $700 US to Aussie? That's going to be about $1,000.
$3,000, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on the way the wind's blowing.
I think you need to look at what
even use.
You need to look at what compare it like. So what can you buy for that money in terms of other phones? So you can get like the Galaxy S8, I assume, is around that price. You can buy a Pixel 2, probably. You can probably buy an iPhone 8, which are probably all better phones, I assume.
Yeah, but Brett, the Razer's the only phone you can actually shave with.
Yeah. So So what? So do we need a gaming phone?
I don't. Well,
there's a couple of interesting hardware things that it actually has over other phones. It's like they've called it a gaming phone. It's got a Snapdragon 835 processor. It's got 8 gigabytes of RAM, and it's got a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, which is pretty damn big. Like that's like 50% bigger than most of the other phones that I mentioned before.
What are you going to play on it? Like Pokemon Go?
Well, this was the kind of thing I'm getting to. That's what I want to know. It's the only interesting thing about this phone. Well, one, that's got a good battery. That's kind of cool, like because everyone hates their phone going flat. It's got a 120 hertz screen, which is pretty cool. So, so it's like double what most phones are. That might have other uses in terms of just being a bit smoother. Like the new iPad has 120 hertz screen, and apparently it's nicer when you're scrolling. Like all the text scrolls smoother and stuff. So there is that advantage
on the new iPad.
Yeah. I'm saying that's
because with the 120 hertz, shouldn't that equate to about 120 frames per second?
That's what that means. Yeah.
Yeah. So if that's the case, 120 frames per second. That would be pretty smooth. I mean, what's the iPad doing?
Yeah, but regardless of how smooth it is, what are you playing on it? Like, can I remote into my PC and play Destiny or play Fallout 4.
Well, at this point,
games on mobile phones are fucking apps. Let's just call them what they are. They're not games. They're apps. You know,
they are games. Same as Dungeons and Dragons is a game.
Yeah, well, there you go. Good retort.
What do you mean? What do you mean, Grax? That they're not games but apps. What do you mean by that? Of course, all games are apps. They're all applications that run on a computer. What do you mean by that?
It means like they're not real games. They're not proper.
They're not
games.
They're not PC Master Race games, basically,
or even console games. It's what can you? Okay, the last actual game that I could play on my phone was one of the Grand Theft Autos, and not the most recent one. But
I think you get San Andreas on there.
What kind of experience are you going to have on such a small screen?
Well, I think at this point, all Razer has really done is sort of announce the actual phone and announce the specs for it. The games that they are sort of saying that you'll be able to play on it is Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition. So that was a PlayStation 4 console game, but it would be the Pocket Edition. So
what's the difference in the Pocket Edition? Is it?
I don't know. All I know is all they've really announced is just the title of it. So
Chris, do you think that it's in terms of like where they sit in the market, they're trying to like bridge the gap between a 3DS, like a sort of a handheld console and a phone?
Could well be.
That could work. I mean, I just don't think it's not going to have control knobs and fiddly buttons or anything. It's just going to be a touchscreen.
Do any of us play games on our phones? Just to sort of clarify,
I play
apps.
Yeah. Clash of Clans, maybe.
Yeah. No, I play. I play your traditional mobile app games. It's all the push this for $5 and.
Yeah. So it's what do you play, Michael?
Well, the only time I play them is when I've gone on holidays and I didn't take my Game Boy, and I thought I'll just not play video games. And then, like, waiting for planes, I'm like, I need a game to play. I'm so bored. And then I bought. There's a couple of like RPG ones. I don't know. They're all kind of shit, to be honest. They're all like shovelware, like just like throw them away. I do play Pokemon Go quite a bit. I think that's the only game that's actually done something, that actually uses the actual what's the word I'm looking for?
The camera and
phoneness of a phone.
The phoneness of the phone.
It's like something you couldn't play Pokemon Go on your PC.
Yeah,
it would be really.
The attributes of the phone. In fact, it's mobile. Yeah, it's mobile, and you have a GPS. I think that's the only game that's actually taken advantage of that.
Well, I think actually because Pokemon Go was actually an imitation of a different game where you're supposed to walk around the streets and set up sort of defense turrets. I'm trying to remember what the game was called because I remember when Pokemon Go came out, one of our mates sort of said, "Oh, that's just like blah blah blah." I'm trying to remember what it was because it was years ago. The only real difference is it was Pokemon Go.
I know the one. It's the only other game Niantic that the developer made. I don't know. It's called like Suburbs or something. But
Suburbs.
What they really should do.
I know the one you're talking about, and I've forgotten what it's called as well. Fuck.
It's called Suburbs or like.
Ingress.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah.
So it was very.
But the only.
Boom, Tish. Good job.
The only reason you want to play Pokemon over Ingress is because everyone in the world was playing it for 2 weeks. Like you just wanted to have a higher level. Like that's the only motivation to walk around with it. But once that's gone, it's like, what the fuck is the point?
And when you're playing it, Michael, are you just like, oh, this fucking 60 hertz is doing my head in? I really wish I had double the frame rate on this.
I have never ever thought that in a million years.
Just imagine how well Candy Crush Saga is going to run on your phone.
It's going to look.
So I reckon we're going to see Razer bankrupt because it's kind of insane. Like.
I don't know. Like it'll as long as it performs as well as a normal phone, and like with that kind of refresh rate.
Yeah, but if it performs as a normal phone, it's like so what they get 15% of the market. It's going to bankrupt them because you got Samsung, you got Apple, they're pumping out however millions of phones. Like they just won't have the capital or the market the factory output to be able to keep up. They're going to be operating at a loss. They won't be able to sell it at the same price. They won't sell as many. They're going to make barely any market penetration.
It's going to be very. It's going to be, I think, the same as the Sony Xperia when that first sort of was. Hey, we're a Sony.
That?
Exactly.
That memorable phone that everyone.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Because that was one that you could, you were supposed to be able to go and, if you're at home, you can, for some reason, if you're, you can stream your PlayStation 4 to your phone and plug it into your
to a tiny screen. Oh, fuck yeah!
Exactly.
Did it only work when you're at home, like on your Wi-Fi, like when you might use your PlayStation?
Yeah, exactly.
You're in the wrong room. If you've been sent to your bedroom and you're a teenager,
I suppose. Maybe your girlfriend's taken the TV over and you can't use the TV,
and it works because we all know how well from Steam Big Picture how well streaming works.
Nintendo Switch has done.
That works okay for me. I do that quite a lot.
That's not streaming.
Steam.
No, that's what I just said.
But also on the Switch, it's like if you remember the ad, it's like they're playing on the big screen, and then he gets invited to a party, and he's like, "Oh, I'll go to the party," and he takes his Switch, and everyone's like, "Fuck yeah, you bought your Switch!" And then they're all playing, and everyone's having a good time. But I think Michael
was talking about in the Steam in-house streaming, which is different to Big Picture.
That
you can stream from your PC
because it does not work properly.
Works well for me.
The big picture is just when you hook up to your TV. The actual streaming one doesn't work.
Yeah,
it works.
It does work. It's terrible.
I don't know, man. I think it depends on your network at home. Like I stream stuff to my TV all the time, mainly like driving games and things like that. And it's fine. Yeah. Absolutely.
I must be doing something wrong because I've had like Ethernet, like gigabit Ethernet plugged in, and it's still not super responsive. Like it feels laggy, and you get loads of artifacts and stuff like that. Horrible.
The only game I've had problems with Steam in-house streaming is Rocksmith, and that was purely because having the USB cable plugging in was an issue. But everything else I've streamed.
Is that the game where you roll a giant ball?
No, it's not, mate. Oh, that's Boulder Dash, I think you're thinking of.
Yeah, I love Boulder Dash.
No, it's called Rock of Ages.
Rock of Ages? Yeah, Rock of Ages, yeah.
Rocksmith's
that's a good game.
Is that Guitar Hero?
It's like Guitar Hero, but you use a real guitar.
Rock of Ages, you just roll the big boulder down and smash into a load of like people's villages and stuff and smash all their houses.
Yeah, it's like
how do we get to Rock of Ages from Razor Phone? Far out.
Who knows? It's tangents.
Unless there might be some sort of like VR options. Maybe that would be good. But there isn't.
That would be cool.
Maybe
so if there was, it'd be good.
Not yet.
Maybe. All right. Well, look. What we'll do next. We'll move on from Razor Phone. So, have you also heard Intel?
Oh, hang on 1 second. I just thought of a killer app. So. Razorware, whatever your name is, this is copyrighted. Like what they could do is an actual augmented reality where it's like it's a headset that goes in your head, but it pipes through the camera, so the world around you comes through the augmented like by the processor. Yeah. So then you would be running around like shooting things or doing whatever with augmented reality more so than full VR. That could be a killer app. So. You heard it here first.
I think that's already been thought of.
Well, they've copied me in reverse. Definitely, I would say, if that's come out already.
They
copied me.
They quantum graxed you.
They quantum douched me. So they copied me in reverse.
Yeah, I hate it when that happens.
All the time.
Yeah.
I do that
to me constantly. Actually, I always come up with really good stuff. I'm like, those motherfuckers.
Copy me in reverse before.
Only you thought of that.
So Intel are partnering with AMD to produce a new core processor with custom Radeon graphics to take the battle to NVIDIA.
Really?
So, that was announced this morning.
Is this an on-board graphics?
Yep, exactly. They are arch enemies. They are rivals, but they're doing this to hit back at NVIDIA. Since I guess their motivation, I'm assuming, would be NVIDIA just owns the market in terms of graphics cards. So this is also not for PC at this point. It is for laptops. Don't know if that changes anything, but trying to sort of build more powerful gaming laptops.
What have they come up with? Like, what is it?
It is. They've just literally announced it as. Where was it here? It's just a new core processor with custom Radeon graphics inside the chip package.
So basically, because Radeon are involved, it's going to run super hot.
It's going to be a piece of shit and really slow.
You're going to need a full laptop worth of cooling.
Have they called the laptop the very expensive but not as good? Not as good as
basically what it's going to be.
I know that's
basically, And you'll have to bring your own air conditioner because it'll be so freaking hot you won't be able to put it on your lap.
But I guess they're still probably going to have the bottleneck of the fact that NVIDIA just have the market with developers. It's like, yeah, cool. You've got this new Radeon GPU chip thingy-me-bob with Intel, but NVIDIA still have the optimization with the developers. I think that's still going to be a bottleneck.
I think the Vega cards are pretty good. Like the current range of AMD cards are pretty good. From what I've read. I mean, I wouldn't buy one.
Yeah,
God knows.
no,
But, I've read that they're okay.
It's like, I've heard they're good, but
at the end of the day, like if it forces or encourages NVIDIA to make even better stuff, like go further, like if the challenge makes both of them rise and create better products, then all for it.
Does anyone kind of feel like, I reckon you might agree with this, Chris, is that like Intel are kind of backstabbing NVIDIA? Because I like that combination. Like I'm a bit of a snob where I have my Intel CPU and my NVIDIA graphics card, and then for them to work with AMD, it's just, how could you? You cheated on me, you bastards.
Yeah, it feels a bit like dirty.
Yeah.
I thought Intel and AMD were like... Intel and AMD were always competitive. Like they
are. That's the thing.
Like, they are.
Yeah, 100%.
It'll be like Apple and Google going, yeah, we're going to make a phone together or something. You just be like, what?
What is this goddamn monopoly? What is this goddamn communist monopoly that's going on here? This is terrible.
They're obviously trying to do like an all-in-one chip, because at the moment it's like you have to have separate chips in your laptop. So it might be good maybe, but it's probably, I bet you it's not going to be aimed at real gamers. It's probably like fairly limited as opposed to having a dedicated GPU, I imagine. I haven't read anything about it. I'm just assuming, because you can already get like 1070s and 1080s in laptops now. So it's not. I can't imagine they're going to be better than that.
Well, we'll soon find out. It's only at this point announced that will happen this morning. So we'll see where it goes from there. And our last bit of news before we carry on with the rest of the show is BlizzCon just happened, and yes. So as part of their sort of announcements, announced that they were bringing back World of Warcraft Classic. So they've announced that they're going to implement servers based on the original game. So you'll be able, for all those fans out there from a long time ago, be able to go back and do all the original stuff that you had a lot of fun doing. So I thought that was a very cool announcement. Chris, it's one thing a lot of people have been asking for a long time. Before we talk about that,
I'm very interested to talk about that, but I think overall, I feel like Blizzard sort of it's sort of like billowing out, and like it's becoming so like boring. Like, what was it? It was like the big news was basically a new character for Swords of the Storm or whatever.
Necromancer, wasn't it?
A new character for
Heroes of the Storm.
Heroes of the Storm.
Overwatch.
Overwatchers.
Yeah. Oh.
A new character for People of the Storm. A new one for Overwatching. And old Warcraft, like that, and then also StarCraft 2, a game that's been out for several hundred years, is now free to play. Like,
that's correct. Yes.
Who cares? Like, where's the exciting stuff? Like, that seems like the most boring, benign,
and a new WoW expansion.
Mundane, BlizzCon. Like, if I went out and go, oh yes, I'm going to BlizzCon, and see the next Diablo 4 or heaven forbid, a new IP. But instead it's like, remember that shooting game that most people don't play, and that other one, the MOBA one? Well, there's a new player. So if you like that game, brilliant. And then, here's an old game that you can play again.
It sounds like they're doing what Bethesda do, where they're just like re-releasing shit all the time now.
Look, I think I'm pretty sure last I did sort of see on the sort of Blizzard careers page, from what I read, is that they are looking to.
Why are you looking up there?
No.
Brett, it sounds insane, but like this, people who like Blizzard actually literally look at like the jobs posted.
How many job applications have you sent over?
All of them are way out of my.
Programming. I don't know how to program, but
that doesn't matter. I'll learn. It'll take me like 6 months. I'll learn easy.
I can stand at the door and touch you as you walk past, and perhaps give you a kiss on the cheek.
Chris could be their PR guy, definitely.
If only
he is.
If only.
Yeah,
so look, I know in the last sort of 6 to 12 months, they have been advertising for sort of pretty high-end roles for sort of directors and creative directives for unannounced projects.
Yeah, well,
so we'll see.
Lord knows they need some creativity. Christ almighty.
We got fuck all at the moment, guys. We got fuck all.
Now, Overwatch is a highly hero-based game. So yes, they will continue to bring out new heroes. That's the kind of core of the game is.
And what was it? It was literally, it was called like the name of the new hero is like Gladys or Louise or something, and it's a lady with long nails.
It's Moira.
It's Moira. Is it literally Moira?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Moira. Oh, it's a lady with
Moira the hairdresser.
Like, they seriously need to create it. Moira. Here's Moira. She has long nails and a gun. Ooh, and here's the hero for the Storm game. It's a shopping trolley with a gun on the front.
To be fair,
this is why they're advertising for these new positions, Michael. Clearly, they're just what are we doing?
It's an apple. It's an apple with legs and teeth. Oh, watch out! It's Boobachu. I think they're.
Look, I would like something new from Blizzard. I think I would like something new from them. I would like that. I mean, Overwatch has been out. I think it's in its second year now. So that was
Yawnfield year.
Oh, I wouldn't say Yawnfield. It's actually quite a fun game. But look, I do agree to some point where it does feel like bringing back
Blizzard, are you listening?
Classic servers is probably clutching at straws a little bit.
Chris.
I don't know, Chris. Because I would definitely check it out. I don't think 100% I've played it for ages, but it's definitely something that part of the WoW community have been after for a while. Like there was that whole big shitstorm with the
Nostalrius.
Yes.
The fan made
is that like a zone in the game, shitstorm?
Hundreds of thousands of people complaining about not being able to access that anymore. So maybe Blizzard have gone, well, let's shut them down and do it ourselves and get the cash.
We like
exactly
stuff that we've... we like charging people for old shit. So
we like money. We like making money for the least effort possible.
Here's some old tat that we released, over a decade ago. Have it.
Overwatch has only been out for a year too, by the way, 2016.
So if they do actually get around to releasing these servers, will any of you guys be giving it a crack?
Nope,
for sure.
Michael will be definitely.
Can't
Michael?
Wait.
Yeah,
definitely.
I might play if you guys play. Actually,
I love it.
100%.
All right,
I want to get back to having a hunter with ammunition.
Yeah, we had to. Yeah.
That's what we're all thinking, Cracks.
Yeah, wasn't my first thought, but
I love a good bit of ammunition on my hunter.
Absolutely.
So there you go. Anyway, Blizzard
and the carrot on a stick.
Moving on to our second segment, Brett, you have been playing Wolfenstein 2.
Yeah.
I believe you're going to review this for us.
I've got a bit of a cough, so you're going to have to bear with me.
You didn't have to do it in the microphone.
I know. Well, I've been turning it down, and I just wanted to emphasize the point by coughing. So, like Wolfenstein 2. All right.
One second, I need clarification.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say Wolfenstein 2, like surely this isn't the second Wolfenstein ever created. Is this like
but we're just calling it. Well, it's Wolfenstein 2 from when it restarted. So
and
going
this
back,
is like the fourth.
Although it's actually technically it's the third one because there was a second one that was a prequel, but that's like Wolfenstein 0.5, I guess.
Yeah.
So
I love how nonchalantly you guys say Wolfenstein 2, even though
is there a Wolfenstein 2 though? Like an old Wolfenstein 2? I don't know if there is. There might be actually.
Well, there's been a lot of Wolfensteins, hasn't there?
But they just do that now. It's like Doom. They just had Doom. They're just like, fuck it. They can't be bothered naming it. So that's just what it is now.
Somebody can't count higher than 3, so they reset it.
You specifically said Wolfenstein 2. Like, that was like, oh, yeah, it's definitely Wolfenstein 2, the second one.
Well, it's Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. Does that make it a bit
better?
Well,
there you go.
Here you go, Brett, before you get into your review. Castle Wolfenstein, Beyond Castle Wolfenstein, Wolfenstein 3D, Spear of Destiny, Return to Castle Wolfenstein, Wolfenstein Enemy Territory, Wolfenstein RPG, Wolfenstein.
Okay.
Wolfenstein The New Order.
So on Michael's topic of just churning out old stuff.
This is my review of Wolfenstein 14, The New Colossus.
So there's 11 games.
I mean, to be fair, that doesn't have the same ring to it. If they call it that,
semi-new Colossus.
Hey, maybe it's Wolfenstein 11 because there's 11 games. Hey, maybe everyone's pronouncing it wrong.
11.
Yeah.
Well, that was kind of a joke.
Colossus Revisited.
Yeah. Well, no, this is a new Colossus though. They can have a new. You can always have a new.
2000
instead of the old
17 vote.
I mean, if you're going to bring these points up, this is going to take a long time.
You have 30 seconds left.
Have you guys? No, this isn't cutting into my time. Have you guys played the 2014 one, The New Order?
Nope.
Yes.
No.
All right. Well, it's very well. It's going to be very hard to explain to you. So, Wolfenstein II: The New Colossus is set in 1961. It takes place after the 2014 game, The New Order. Basically, in this universe, the Nazis are in control of America. They've won World War II. There's a very
Bastards.
Yeah, I know. There's a very memorable moment where you're in Roswell and you're walking down the street and there's a bunch of KKK guys walking around because the Nazis have basically just let them be in charge because I guess their ideologies are similar or something like that.
Makes sense.
I mean, everyone knows it's a first-person shooter. To be honest, the game is all about killing Nazis. Balls to the wall action, dual-wielding flamethrowers, nail guns, heavy lasers. It's got really good gunplay. Sort of plays quite similar to the first one, or Doom, if you've played that. Nazi mech warriors, massive robot dogs. This
is total history.
Yeah, it's very. It's
great.
basically what would have happened essentially. So you can kind of take this as an alternate timeline.
So hang on. So you're saying if the Nazis won the war,
Quantum.
we would have laser guns now?
There'd be mech warriors and robot dogs
In an alternate timeline / world.
Because you know how efficient the Germans are. Imagine if they won.
Yeah.
Like, think about how good like a Mercedes is. Like, imagine if they were doing that, since they didn't get like weighed down by all this capitalism bullshit or whatever.
Anywho,
yeah, So the gaming mechanic, the main sort of thing is like you go in and you have these like captains who. So you can do like a stealth approach or you can do like just a shooting everyone approach. The stealth aspect of it kind of feels a little bit, I wouldn't say broken, but it doesn't really work. Like you always end up in a massive firefight. You can kind of sneak up behind them and sort of axe them in the head and stuff. It's really, really violent. The game is very difficult. I do have it set on hard, to be fair, but you literally die in like 2 or 3 shots sometimes, depending on the gun.
cool.
Sort of a bit of a criticism. Like generally, I'm really enjoying it. Like it's an absolutely fantastic game. There's a couple of negatives, which is the level design is a little bit shitty. You can kind of get lost inside houses and stuff. It's not really clear where to go. In my opinion, usually a good level design will push the player along, and you kind of just know where to go. You just sort of know. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it doesn't. seem to do that.
I get that. Sometimes, I know growing up, and my old man would be like, "How do you ever watching me see what I was doing?" It's like, how do you ever know where to go? It's like, generally when you walk down a direction, you only have 1 or 2 options to go with.
Yeah,
there's a whole bunch of other stuff going on, but generally where you need to go is quite.
This seems to doesn't do that very well. You just end up going round and round in circles sometimes, and just like I just don't like it. Just got a bit frustrating and sort of didn't add anything to it. It was but maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just an idiot and can't find my way out of a house.
Meanwhile, it was Saturday night and you had a few beers, but actually that's all it was.
I was drinking, so that could be part of the problem.
Meanwhile, Brett, it's actually Brett just walking around in his own kitchen.
Your computer wasn't even open. Your computer wasn't even on. It was just literally you walking around.
Exactly.
Holding the wooden spoon from the kitchen going.
I was looking at all the swastikas going, what the hell is going on?
This level design's horrible.
Yeah. In terms of sound, it's got a nice moody soundtrack. The guns sound a little weak compared to Destiny 2, which I was playing before, which has a really good sort of punchy sound for the guns. It doesn't quite achieve
How good's the reverb when you're in like a big area? Speaking in Destiny 2, when it you can hear the reverb of the shots in a big area?
I think the sound in Destiny 2 is fantastic, and this it's quite often when you just play one game after another, you really things do stand out. Whereas if I'd been playing something else, I might like Pokemon Go, I probably wouldn't have noticed it. So yeah,
sure enough. Good point, Brett.
It's got a good lead character, Terror Billy. He's called BJ Blazkowicz. He's basically like Aldo Rain from Inglourious Bastards, if you guys have seen that. It's essentially the same character. Cool. It actually does have fairly long cutscenes in the game, which were kind of annoying. As you know, they annoy me sometimes. But pretty entertaining most of the time. It actually has some really sort of deep, touching moments regarding BJ's childhood, which are quite full on. And they're actually really good. But then it sort of offsets that by having, stupid over-the-top robots and ridiculous stuff like that. So kind of pulls you out of it a bit. But yeah, performance-wise, runs really well on my 1080 GTX, which is, I guess, no surprise. But there's a lot of people complaining about the game on Steam. If you actually look it up, it's only sitting on a 6 out of 10. A lot of people are having technical problems.
Ooh, that's harsh.
A lot of the negative reviews are based on tech, not the actual game itself. But I was having problems with G-Sync and it was running at a crappy frame rate, and I put it into windowed borderless instead of full screen, and that pretty much fixed it. So if anyone's listening and they're having a problem, windowed borderless basically fixes the G-Sync problems. So that helps.
Every game should run in Windows borderless. I don't know.
100%.
Why?
Yeah, because it's awesome, especially if you've got more than one monitor. That's.
I've had a few times and I've accidentally kind of not alt tabbed out, but clicked out of it somehow. I don't know. Usually when I'm in the menu and stuff.
Well, you're probably drunk again, but yeah, that's never happened to me.
Okay. Well, you haven't played it, have you?
Well, in any game ever.
He's been drunk before, surely.
Probably not.
He certainly has.
I do not.
So
Not much the demon drink. Thank you very much.
Yes. So overall, absolutely fantastic game. It's really just really good action, shooting, no bullshit, just killing Nazis. If you like that sort of thing, you'll love this. If you like the first one, it's basically the same game, but just more of that. There goes the cough. So
Jesus Christ, Brett.
I give it actually, and I haven't even finished it yet, but I think I'm on the last mission because I've kind of looked it up. So I give it a 9 out of 10. It's fucking awesome.
So
I give it a 9 out of 10 arbitrary points.
Yep, arbitrarily. Yep. No, that's not arbitrary. That's like what I think. Like I think like the action and the way it plays and stuff. Like as I was saying, it's kind of hard not to compare it to Destiny because I was just playing that before. I find Destiny to be really quite like tedious compared to Wolfenstein. Like Wolfenstein's fucking way more exciting.
How dare you?
Because
How
you're like,
dare you?
You haven't even played it.
no, have you done the harder stuff at the end of Destiny yet?
No.
Who?
So maybe.
Oh, okay, well then you can't really compare the intensity.
Not very good. Not very experienced playing the game.
I've got a few hours in there. But that, it's just, it's not really fair to compare them because they're not exactly the same type of games.
Yeah.
But
no, I think you'd be going, maybe Doom or Wolfenstein.
Shooters or anything.
Yeah, I think like Doom is probably like slightly better, but this actually has a more sort of interesting storyline and characters and stuff like that. I think the guns and stuff are a little bit, they're actually kind of boring. I know I said like lasers and stuff like that, but I think it could have used more outrageous guns. You also carry an anti-aircraft gun around, which is pretty funny because you just like blow people's heads off. It's really violent as well, like extremely violent.
Nice. Always a plus.
My kind of game.
So you said you're coming up to the last. You think you're on the last mission now. So how long is it taking you to get to this point? Like how long do you say?
I'm on 8 hours. So pretty short. That's another complaint a lot of the people said.
Okay.
Most people saying it's taking them around 10 hours to complete, which maybe for $70 isn't great value.
No. Is there any replay value?
Not really. I mean, there's a couple little side missions and stuff, but really shitty. I mean, there's one where it's like...
Is there multiplayer or anything?
Yeah, I was about to say, is there multiplayer?
No, I don't think so.
Or co-op?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Well, I haven't even looked at that, but I don't want to say it in case I'm wrong, but they are adding some new DLC and stuff like that. It's really not a game that, like, it's not like a game where you just kind of play it constantly. It's like you'll just play it through and then you're done with it. But you have an absolute blast while you're playing it.
At full price, though.
I think it's worth it, definitely. I'm fucking
ID make it? Did it make it?
No, it's made by Machine Games.
Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus does not have multiplayer.
Doesn't have multiplayer, so no multiplayer, no replay value. Wow. It's about 8 to 10 hours long.
You could probably play it through twice.
Why would you do that?
Is there different choices you can make in the story or anything like that? Or
no, it's really going to be like the same if you play it through again. You could do it on a harder difficulty.
How about?
There's 5 difficulty levels, but it's not. You're really like paying. So it might be like if you're not like loaded or whatever, or you just like got money to throw at games, maybe wait until it's on special. But it's so fun. Like I'm just having so much fun playing it.
Yeah, it's
worth
so much fun for one day.
Well, no. Who the fuck sits there for... Well, you do. I know you sit there for 10 hours and play it. But it's like, it's lasted like a normal person. It probably lasts them about a week.
It's interesting, like, I'm comparing this, like, IGN gave it 9.1 out of 10 and Steam's given it 6 out of 10.
Yeah, because of that's the technical problems, though.
Yeah, but why an IGN reporting?
Because they're playing it on a 1080 the same as I am. They're not having any problems. It runs fucking awesome on my computer.
IGN knows where their bread's buttered from.
Yeah.
Well, look at other reviews then. It's all they're all sitting around 9, I'm pretty sure.
88% on Metacritic.
Just because someone's got a piece of shit computer, it shouldn't be the game developer's fault.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yes, it should. They should know their audience. They should know who they're selling it to. If there's not enough people with good PCs, then who's going to buy it?
I don't know. I bought it.
Well, even besides the technical stuff, I mean,
you're rich. You're rich, Brett.
I just feel without any sort of replay, any multiplayer, anything like that, it just kind of like I think, like I enjoyed.
Did you enjoy Doom?
I did, but at least Doom's got some map editors. It's got multiplayer, not great multiplayer, but it's got multiplayer. At least it's given you some sort of replay value with searching for achievements and looking for the old, like classic Doom's hidden secret levels.
Yeah, but so not everyone wants to do that boring stuff. Some people just want to do the main mission and just fuck it off and do something else. Not everyone wants to spend like 100 hours.
70. Not for $70 though.
I think. I don't know. I think it's fine.
Especially you can buy for the same amount of money. You can buy Destiny and have a game that will literally forever.
You can buy what? Sorry,
ever made.
Destiny.
You can buy Destiny 2.
Yeah, but like I'd be interested to see like. I know you guys probably won't play it. You never get bored. It's like the infinite game lasts forever. No, but like I'd be interested to see if you guys played this. If you think. Like, it's just more fun. Like, I'm just having a way better time playing it than I did with Destiny 2. Like, I can't help that. And I think a lot of people would agree. But it's it's like it's like a fun time, but a short time, you know?
I've got certain requirements of what I like. I like repetitiveness in a game. I like doing the same thing over and over again.
You probably wouldn't
yeah. Well, let's say I like if I'm going to be spending anywhere from $70, $80 up on a game, I want at least a minimum 30 hours.
Chris, there's so many games that you've bought where you've just played them for 5 hours and fucked them off.
Because they're crap.
Yeah, but like,
Chris, are you still using that? Are you still using that indie game where you get a game?
No, but I didn't pay $70 for it.
You might have though if you kept it. Look, it's one of those things like I was a massive fan of the first one. I really like the Old Blood as well. I didn't think it was as good as the first one. When I say the first one, I mean the 2014 one, not the one in 1981.
I mean the 10th one.
Yeah,
I really love the 1981 one, but anyway.
So it's just like really, really good shooters. I feel like are just like worth the money, and that's like
Destiny.
And that's that. And that's the final.
I think it's much more fun than Destiny in terms of just pure shooting, like fun dynamics. Destiny's like different because it's like more stats based and you're collecting loot and stuff, like has more longevity, so it has a different thing. You guys can't make the argument because you haven't played it, so you can't. This is a pointless conversation.
Now, look, I probably agree with you. Like I said it probably is like more fun, but I want a game that I can grind and be repetitive with.
Yeah.
I love being repetitive.
But some people people listening, if you like shooters, like this, you won't be disappointed, and you have make sure you got a good computer because it sounds like people are having problems. Or get it on maybe.
If you got money to burn on video cards and overpriced games, then this is a game.
Well, I know one of our favorite listeners, Tay, has been playing it on his Xbox.
Yeah.
And he loved it. He said so.
That might be a low cost alternative. So if you don't have a PC, you could buy an Xbox and play it on that. Would you say that's a good idea, Brad?
No, because you got to use a controller. That would be horrific. But some people are fine with it. So
why haven't they released a keyboard and mouse?
They have. I think they have.
That's a good idea. Why didn't they release that 10 years ago? That seems like probably the most important thing to.
I did see something about one, and apparently it's like you get latency issues and stuff because the games aren't designed for a mouse and keyboard. Like a raw mouse and keyboard input needs to be developed for while the game's being developed. You can't just like tack that on after because it's designed to be played with a controller. I don't think it works like that.
Fucking Neanderthal console gamers.
Yeah.
Well, don't say that because some of our listeners are console gamers.
Well, they probably wouldn't know. Probably wouldn't know how to actually download this podcast. So I'm not really concerned about that.
Shots fired.
Michael's views do not represent the views of us.
Send your complaints to Michael at I don't give a fuck.
You can write your complaints on the cave on the wall that you. I'm saying you are not a caveman.
The archaeologist.
It's kind of rich coming from you, Michael, considering your PC was made in like 1994 and could barely even run Destiny.
Well,
so that's
you've got me there.
Yeah,
but I'm just, I like the classic spread. I like to, vintage.
The classics like Destiny 2.
So we'll move on to the next segment. We'll move on. So next up, we're going back to the Fuck You Award.
Yay.
So, yay.
Classic.
So, yep, the whole classic, because it's the second time we've done it.
Hey, Chris, can I try to guess the argument that you're making and sort of like cut it off halfway through like I did last time?
No,
I wasn't at the pre-show meeting and I didn't get the memo about what the point you were going to make, and it's completely
maybe don't do that.
Maybe just don't.
Yeah,
you can guess before he starts
this time.
talking, and then you can just shut up while he talks. That'll be fine.
But can I like railroad over the top, like just yell over the top, so like you can't make your point?
No. Look, I'd rather you not.
I've got mute options.
Okay.
I'd rather that too.
Cool. So in our last episode, we talked about Activision and microtransaction patents that they had filed, and the last one, which was granted. Now, that was probably a prime opportunity for us to actually do the Fuck You Award based off that. But we didn't, but we're definitely bringing back it now and giving Activision the stamp of fuck you, because they are back at it again with more microtransaction patents.
They weren't really at it originally because they just... I suppose they had a patent.
Never stopped, yeah. So there was a new patent that has been discovered. The name of that patent, which is system and method
general
of...
patent? Is it general patent or is it a patent? Is it a general patent or is it
hang on,
just looking for the mute button.
So, yeah, that'd be...
I don't know if I can do that or not.
Oh, I might be able to.
Or is it maybe patent?
Hang on, let's have a look here.
I think it's patent.
Maybe it's patent.
Maybe
I think I found mute.
Maybe it's patent, not general patent. Not general patent.
Hello? Oh.
Anyway, I'm going to still be coming through on the recording.
So,
I
thought...
Yeah, you can't do it.
I think I did mute him. No, I did.
Oh, no, but it's,
yeah, only for you.
Everyone else can still hear
Yeah,
me.
I can still hear him, but I have to mute him because I'm recording the podcast.
Oh, well, I'll keep him muted for now until I finish my bit.
He's you can hear what he's saying, so just shut up, Michael,
anyway.
just for just a couple of minutes, please.
All right, I will. It's patent.
Can he hear me?
Patent.
Yeah, he can. Just keep talking. It's fine. He's going to be quiet now. He said he would.
All right. So the name of it is System and Method for Identifying Portions of Video Game Streams for Driving Microtransactions. So that's the name of it. Ooh. What this will allow Activision to do is sell microtransactions based on what sell to microtransactions based on what they see in video game streams, or VGS for short. So basically what that could mean is...
So that's Twitch players.
Yeah, Twitch, for example. But on, say, if you as a player level, if you are, say, playing Call of Duty or something like that, and you are killed by someone, and the kill cam pops up, what the patent actually describes is it could add an overlay on top of the multiplayer footage recorded by players. So what this recording also does is captures data of the match, so i.e. players, their weapons, their loadouts, things like that. So if you could sort of picture being killed by someone in an Activision multiplayer game, then being shown that kill cam of your death, and then actually having pop-ups come up with this was the weapon you were killed with, or this was the skin that this person had. Now, also what Activision want you allow you to do is buy that weapon or whatever it is right on the spot with one click, because the patent also includes a method for examining and using players' pre-stored financial information to buy them microtransactions straight from the replay or the kill cam video. So a bit of an extract. Sorry, listeners, I don't know if Michael's talking right now because I haven't muted him on my end, so I apologize.
He's not.
No, just keep going.
Makes a change. So what the extract from the patent reads, part of it is upon receipt of a selection of a hotspot, and then in brackets, in other words, when the player clicks on the screen, and brackets, the system may either automatically cause a purchase, automatically there being a funny word, of a corresponding item by looking up pre-stored financial account information of the viewer or virtual currency account information of the viewer as well. So that could very much open up to, okay, I'm the player, I was killed. Here's what that was used to kill you. Do you want to push this button, buy it now? Or maybe I'm just a spectator of someone on Twitch and see someone with really cool stuff and going, I want that, and then just purchasing it, then and there. So I'm just going to quickly take Michael back off mute on my screen, on my end anyway.
Is that the main gist of it?
Pretty much, that's the gist of it. So
you haven't done the fuck you thing yet. You need to do the fuck you.
I kind of did. Okay, yeah. So obviously, dirty, shady, stupid shit from Activision, continuing with their microtransaction bullshittery. Fuck you.
Is this segment called Fuck Activision now? Like,
I think that seems to be a common theme, doesn't it? Really.
Well, no, the first Fuck You award went to EA with Battlefront 2 loot boxes.
Activision hasn't received the Fuck You.
Oh, sorry, I got EA confused with Activision because they're basically the same level of evil.
The same. Electronic Activision.
This makes the Nazis in 1961 look like,
good guys.
Blizzard or something. I'm saying that in like a good way. Like they're so bad that they make them seem good.
I hardly feel like capitalistic, unethical capitalism is any way in relation to the horrific horrors of Nazi Germany in the past.
I don't know. I'm getting pretty upset about it. So that's much worse than genocide or whatever.
I think that's insensitive and wrong.
So
don't laugh, Michael. Don't laugh at the genocide. That's fucking horrible.
So that's two patterns that have been come across with Activision in the last sort of couple of weeks, all based around microtransactions. Now, at this point, once again, they still deny that this is actually in any of their games at this point. I would imagine something like that would be pretty obvious if it was.
Why would they bother? Yeah, why would they go, yeah.
Do they have to file these patents publicly? Do they? Is that why they keep? Because
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's not like they're not going, hey guys, guess what we're gonna do? You're gonna love this. It's not like that. It's like people looking at them. Oh, you bastards.
And the other thing is if any other game company does anything similar, they're like, no, sue you because that was a potentially $1 billion, money making device.
I still feel like these are really generalized things, and it's I don't know how they can patent this stuff. It's like we own the rights to making money, or we own the rights to microtransactions.
Well, yeah, no, it's just crazy stuff. That I just can imagine there's going to be so many people in sort of enraged situations because they're getting their ass kicked in a multiplayer game like Call of Duty or something like that, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, do you want the really cool gun that this person just killed you with? Yeah. Click this button.
Do you want to buy some armor that would have stopped you dying in this horrific way?
Yeah, exactly. It's just ridiculous.
I think. I just think.
What I think is interesting, it might be like, do you know how blogs and things like that, they have an Amazon, buying portal. So if you click on Amazon, a link to Amazon through a certain blog, you'll get a kickback. What might be interesting is certain streamers. I mean, this could open the door for because
he did say streamers, didn't he?
Yeah, streamers. So if you're watching a stream, I think it's not really in game. It's like if you're watching a stream and you see, the streamer get a really cool kill, you could buy, the gun or the skin that they're wearing. It could lead to not endorsement. What is it? Like a sponsorship of certain streamers by Activision going, okay, if you put in this little over the top overlay where people could instantly buy whatever you're, using the gun in Call of Duty 500 megaplops. People they will get a kickback, and they'll probably get a sort of a retainer to have the overlay, and then they'll get kickback over time. Whenever people click through and actually buy the weapon or the skin or whatever.
Yeah, definitely, that could absolutely happen.
I think it's maybe slightly less bad than what I was thinking of. If you're actually playing and then the pop-ups telling you to buy stuff, that seems worse. Somehow.
Yeah, but the other question I've got on that is, so you've got all this extra technology and coding running around in the background to produce these pop-ups. What kind of an impact is that going to have on your game's frame rate and playability and all that kind of shit? Not just the stuff that's flashing up in your face going, click me, buy this, you can be awesome. But
you see, what
system hardware issues, you know what I mean?
I feel like it's mostly... Chris, what's the name of the patron again? I think it's mostly streaming.
No, it's not the streaming. So it's system and method of identifying portions of video game streams for driving microtransactions. So the actual abbreviation of VGS implies or is meant to reference towards streaming in Twitch streaming type thing.
I feel that this is actually focused on like people watching streams and how they can get money through people watching streams. Go, oh, that's cool. I like that. I'll buy that, rather than actually in the game. Look, no doubt they're probably, I think the other patent that they were talking about the other week, you were talking about the other week, is more focused on in-game. This is like, all right, how can we tap into the streaming market? Which, I mean, honestly, they're all lost zombies in my mind anyway. Like, why on earth would you spend hours, give money to a person playing video games to watch them play video games?
Chris does that.
I mean, I think these
money
are probably already lost. When the capitalist, apocalypse occurs, they're already going to buy a ticket to jump into the pit of doom. I'm quite certain they're already lost. So,
are you basically saying that like this 1961 version where the Nazis take over America is actually preferable because hopefully we'll do away with capitalism?
Not in the slightest. Okay. I'm just saying, I think that some people are so bought into what is already sort of a weird, illogical, like waste of money system, are going to continue buying into it.
Well, not everyone pays streamers when they're watching them. Some people just like watching them. I mean, I don't get it personally, but
no, I don't pay.
Even that, I think, is bizarre. Even that is bizarre.
It's like because you watch it, it's like I could be playing this instead of. I guess if you really can't be bothered playing, you could.
No, or see, but I watch it like on the train on the way to work, or on the bus or whatever. It's not because I am playing through them. It's like I'm interested in to see the differences they do to how I play. I like
watching pros.
I wouldn't sit at home and do it when I can actually play the game for myself.
It is cool watching, like, if you watch really high end like Counter-Strike players or what's that other one, Rocket League and stuff like that is actually entertaining because they're so fucking good. And you would never achieve that, so that can be entertaining.
Yeah, I just think back to our PAX trip last year, and we walked past that CS:GO competition that was going on, and we sort of caught that glimpse of the guy just he's spinning 180 degrees, crouching, and just shooting the guy straight in the head within like a split second. Do you remember that, Brett?
Yeah, vaguely.
Yeah. You vaguely, because like I remember our reaction to that was like, "Holy fuck! How did he just do that?" Yeah. So I think when you actually like anything,
I was like, I can do that. I just don't want to.
Yeah. BC, I think you watch.
I can do it on video.
Yeah. You watch streamers more for the streamer and the personality of the streamer. Like, and I get where people. Yeah, because I get people that'll go, "Really? Why would you do that?" Or like when you say, Michael, like, I don't get why people watch it. It's like I don't get why people watch certain TV, like reality TV shows. I'm like, why the fuck would you watch that?
I don't get why people play D&D, but there you go.
So
I'm only joking. I'm only joking.
Creative and interesting.
Anyway, so there you go. Fuck you, Activision. Destiny 2 is next. So,
hey, what do you think about, just quickly, because we're talking about Call of Duty, right. Michael, what do you think about people are complaining about the new Call of Duty World War II because they didn't put any swastikas in it?
Yeah.
Is that real?
I was at a friend's house and I was watching him play it. I don't know. What's the reasoning behind that?
Political correctness gone crazy, I guess.
Because you can't do a World War II game and not have the Nazis, really, can you? Like Wolfenstein didn't have an issue sticking them in.
Wolfenstein, there's so many swastikas. You're just like, Jesus Christ, guys, can you back it off a bit? It's like,
honestly, I imagine what it is couldn't be bothered localizing it for Germany. So just
that is a point. Like with it's really funny with the Wolfenstein 2 version in Germany. Obviously, all the swastikas are removed, but there's like a version of Hitler, and in Germany he doesn't have the moustache to make him look different. And it's like fucking hell, like. At what point are they going to say, okay, like we have to acknowledge this happened, and like I understand why they have the rules of like no swastikas is because they don't want Nazis rallying.
I always find that the whole like I didn't want to say anything, but like the kind of cartoonizing of it is, I mean, I don't know.
Do you feel it's like demeaning and kind of like?
I feel like it's such a horrific and horrible thing that it shouldn't be like sort of made light of, but the whole thing.
Oh, so you're like you're talking about like Wolfenstein. You think making
diluting the actual.
I don't want to get too serious, but I feel like it's just such a horrific thing. Like it's like it's when humanity went completely insane. Like, and I just don't know if it's safe to sort of make light of it in such a way. But I don't know.
It doesn't really make light of it. It's like literally the game is saying like fuck Nazis and we're going to kill them and they're like the worst thing ever.
Sort of like
it doesn't even. It paints them as monsters, like for sure.
Yeah, but it's still meant to be this like overall fun, like experience. So I don't know.
It's fun. It's fun, but it's like all it does is reinforce how bad they are. I mean, it doesn't. There's definitely no sort of like sympathizing or saying they're good. It's like
I'm not saying that. I'm just there is.
I see what you're saying. You're saying like making an entertainment product out of like such a horrific event. But then, does that mean? Would you say that about like history programs and documentaries and like where do you draw the line then if that's the case?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that there should be some tenderness and have some thought about it. I mean, maybe there is some places where it could be appropriate. No, I don't know.
So do you think like World War II games in general, like they shouldn't make games about World War II?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Well, what? That's like an on the fence.
Maybe a conversation for another.
No, I think it's quite interesting
about it, but yeah.
No, I think maybe it's something we could return to in
some ways,
episode.
I think like maybe it isn't good to make lots of games where you just shoot other people. Why do we need that? Why does it need to be constant violence and blowing up of things?
Because it's more fun. Killings.
Yeah, but I mean,
but why is it more fun?
There's no examination of that. I mean,
there's something weird about humans where we like killing stuff, and that's like there's no denying that.
There's games you can play where you don't shoot people's heads off. So I don't know. It's all being discussed, and
I would say each to their own, and it doesn't like I don't like I never put Wolfenstein down or like stop playing it, and then I'm like right. I need to keep this going and go rampaging.
No, I'm not saying that at all. That's
the thing. Like, it doesn't affect. I mean, that's pretty well known that games don't affect healthy.
I'm not at all saying that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, I'm not saying that it leads to people killing other people or being more violent. Maybe in some ways it might reduce that in terms of like expressing the shadow self. I just think. Does it always need, maybe there's better ways of human expression. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it is good in a sort of Jungian way, that allowing the shadow self to breathe. And
gets it out of your system, I think. If you look at cultures where something is oppressed, it usually comes out in like weird, odd ways.
Well, that's why Rome did so good for so long, because they had this sort of ceremonial bloodletting in public with the circus, like the gladiators. This public bloodletting. That's why AFL is so popular, because that is more or less, the equivalent of the circus, where we have this violence, ceremonial violence.
It's like a tribal thing, isn't it? It's like you pick your tribe and go with them.
Yeah, and so video games could be a part of that, where they're sort of bloodletting rather than actually doing it. You're sort of letting, virtual blood rather than real blood. I mean, it would be nice if we could think about it and go, can we sort of, as human beings, sort of disentangle ourselves from this sort of horrific nature?
Millions of years of evolution say no.
Each species needs to be on top of the food chain.
Can we escape that parasitic, nature of us?
Maybe one day when we ascend to like beings of pure energy. But for now, we're stuck with
self-actualize
our chimp-like behavior.
So that's just,
Destiny 2, Chris. You're going to talk about it.
Well, it was just Destiny 2 is just something we've all been playing over the last sort of week since it came out on PC, and it was just going to be a general chat to see how we're all finding it, how we're all enjoying it.
I haven't played it in ages. I don't even know.
I want to go straight to the controversial. I want to hear why Brett and Grax don't like it.
No, I do like it. Actually, I really enjoy it. I just said Wolfenstein is a better shooter. That's it. But Grax, you go. Yeah, because I've been talking a lot.
I don't dislike it. What I said was that I found it too easy, and you guys have given counterpoints to that and saying that it gets harder at level 15 and blah blah blah. And the end game, it's all about the end game. But for me, like, I started playing the game, and at no point was my piddly little hunter with his glowing light ever in danger of dying. Like, the only times I've died in the game is where I missed time to jump or had to jump over between spaceships or broken bits of land or whatever and fucked it up. Like, all combat, even if I get caught from behind or, off guard and turn around and just melee the guy or whatever, there was absolutely no challenge to it. Don't get me wrong, the story's interesting.
In terms, sorry, you finished, Grax. I just want to. Oh my god, this is so embarrassing. You go, Grax.
You sure this time?
You sure?
Let him go.
Okay.
Go, Grax.
So, I found the story interesting. So I haven't played Destiny 1 at all. But when I first started playing Destiny 2, I did play the beta and I did do the little intro bit, and I found the story interesting. So I went and watched the YouTube video.
Can we pause on the story just quickly? I just want to examine your point, because in terms of it's sort of not being challenging, like I think that's a bit of an issue with any sort of. I think this is ultimately like a multiplayer focused game, and more or less it is an MMORPG. With shooting and sort of no social interaction. But
I think it's a shooter with an MMO tacked onto it. I think it's the opposite.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of like, and that's a bit of a symptom with any MMORPG, where it's kind of like you basically have this huge amount of padding where you kind of get the basics, and then suddenly at the last, after 20 hours, it's oh, by the way, that was all a tutorial. Now the game actually starts. And I think, I don't know, it's hard to sort of, you kind of want to warm people up, and how much do you warm them up, and how much do you get used to the system, and how much do you sort of cut the wheat from the chaff in terms of getting those people who are really ready for the the end game and not. So I don't disagree with what you're saying. I think you're probably right, but it seems to be this symptomatic thing that can't MMOs can't seem to shake.
Yeah, I think that by level 9 though, like it should have really ramped up. Like I've struggled to want to play. Like I do want to play it because I want to get up to the end game and do that stuff with you guys, and I'm sure that'll be fun because that's what apparently the game's all about. But what you're saying there, Michael, about the issue with MMOs, like, you're right. And I think, for lack of any other example, I think Blizzard kind of nailed that in the most recent WoW expansion with the way they did the help me out, Chris, the islands and stuff, where I could go there at level 100 and you could be there at 110, and the content was difficult for you.
Mechanics.
The way they did that is a good way to combat what Michael's talking about, I think. And, you want to add the MMO aspect to Destiny as a shooter. Cool.
But what did they do?
I think I saw 3 players.
No, I don't. Yeah,
but did they sort of normalize the difficulty? Then it's like, well, you may as well go anywhere. And then I like a little bit of world building or like development where...
Yeah, I like that. I get that as well.
Like sort of like normalizing everything's like, well, what's the point? May as well stay.
No, I don't think that's this. I don't think what they did in Legion with the leveling process is the same. Oh no! Sorry, no. I'm just sort of going back to Grax's point when you said try to.
Yeah, maybe that won't. That's not the Legion. What the fix
I don't think it is because like you have say 7, 5, or 6 zones or whatever it was, and normally in the past to be okay. This zone is you need to be 80 to 82. This one 82 to 83, and so on and so on. But in then Legion, what they did is like you can go anywhere, and then
it's to you,
and the content scales to your level. So no matter where you go, so
is that like Skyrim, like how they do it? That like where it's like it's just however strong you are, that's how strong everyone else is.
Is that how Skyrim did it?
Yeah, it's sort of,
kind of,
but. Exactly.
I do like what Michael's saying, where it's progression, and if you go to the end game area before you're ready, you get stomped. Like I like that. I think it's good. But I just honestly, like at level 6 or level 7, I was looking trying to find the in-game menu, thinking that I had it on easy, and I was like, "Where's the difficulty?"
I know what you mean. So, it's pretty easy.
Look, I do agree in the way that until you're about 15, 16 or higher, it isn't much of a challenge. But I think one thing I quite enjoyed about I think the other side to it is that I liked was because you're meant to be this heroic guardian that just kicks ass with all your abilities and stuff. I felt like I can jump head on into groups of people and just start shooting people in the face, throwing out shit all over the place, and fly away. And as all of a sudden it's like, I just fucked up 10 people with like a blink of an eye. So you get to me, I got like a sense and a feeling of this is what it's like to be a guardian.
And also, Chris, like that's encouraging, like that kind of gameplay, because the end game is really about how fast can you kill things, how quickly, because it's all like I've only done a couple of night strikes or whatever they're called, where it's actually it's not like the only way that they put this extra pressure on is you got a time limit, so you need to be able to kill things quickly and efficiently and sort of zoom through it. So it's kind of like trying to make you feel like a badass, as well as sort of whipping through as many dudes as possible. So it kind of becomes quite bombastic, where you're just trying to push forward, like blow things up melee, sort of push your luck to go quicker and quicker. And that's what I've noticed what the end game seems to be about. It's this race against time to get things done.
We see, not always. See, like that's just one example. Like with the Nightfall, so with those modes, it depends on what it is for that week. Because I'm pretty sure there's like sometimes there isn't a timer, but the guys are just like,
but it's more really, about tactics,
really strong, or they've got extra this and extra that, or different abilities.
So that's all cool. Like I honestly, like I've sort of lost my way with the level I'm at, but I'm looking forward to that because, like you said, that the raids and the tactics and all that. I like that kind of gameplay.
Yeah,
I like to be put under pressure, and I like to have to make decisions between do I heal that guy or do I try and get a bit more DPS on the boss. And that kind of stuff's cool. But just quickly flipping back to the storyline, like me not knowing anything about Destiny 1. Playing Destiny 2 and the story is really cool, so it made me actually want to find out what happened in Destiny 1. And I shit you not, I googled and found a video that went for, I think it was an hour and a half, where this guy compressed the whole game into an hour and a half, the story and everything. And I literally sat there and watched it all because it was really interesting.
It's like a movie.
So yeah, it was, and he's narrating over the top, and it was really well done. But I just, that kind of endgame stuff, there's a gap between where I am and me wanting to be able to play that other stuff.
It does kind of feel like Michael was saying, it's like a 10-hour tutorial, basically. And it really holds your hand, and it's really easy. And it's just like, you're kind of just going through the motions, and it's like, you're like, I've got this now, like I'm ready for a challenge, but that challenge doesn't really come, at least not for a long time. So, because I kind of felt like that as well. It's just like, oh, well, this is a good, it's a tight shooter, it plays quite well, but I'm not being challenged, and I do feel a bit, it's a bit like just too easy. Like I had the same kind of experience, and then admittedly, like I enjoyed it more at the end when it was a bit more challenging.
Like do they need to maybe introduce not raids, but dungeons that you need 2 or 3 other people for at like level 10, level 15, or I don't know.
The dungeons in Destiny is called strikes, and you do get them around level 10.
So I've missed it by that much then.
Yeah, there's a point where once all your social areas sort of set up, there's a guy who's the Zavala guy, that's one of the characters there, will sort of say, I'm reinitiating strike missions, and then all you go up to that and you go, do sort of like your dungeon type missions, and you go get your loot and you team up with 2 other people, and away you go. So all that sort of does kick in around level 10, I believe it was, off the top of my head. But it's quite to that mid-range.
Okay. So maybe I'm speaking too soon. But
it plays levels. It plays if anyone hasn't played it, plays so much like Halo, don't you reckon?
Well,
don't get me wrong, it's a fun game, and the shooting mechanics, the mechanics are tight, the abilities are cool, the storyline's cool. Like I said, it just feels like it's slow.
It's exactly like Halo. I agree with what you're saying, Grax. I think it's a bit too much of a lead up, but it is like Halo, exactly, where it's like what Bungie does in terms of first person shooter. It just it rather than this full on level that you make your way through, it's sort of like big chunky zones, sort of linked up by little corridors, and those big chunky zones are basically different configurations of how things could come out, and then they sort of flood the area with different dudes. So it might be this combination of dudes or this combination of dudes. It sort of reuses environments. It's actually an interesting sort of first-person shooter where it's all these little... It's basically kind of lots of arenas sort of linked together, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what Doom... I don't know if you ever played Doom. Doom was like that. It was just thinking arenas. That. Yeah. It actually has a similar... It actually did remind me of Doom, except way easier. Because Doom was like pretty fucking hard.
Anyway, that's my 5 cents. Like, I'm not totally ragging on the game. It is very cool, but I just feel unmotivated to grind through to level 20.
Just
to
keep
be able
grinding,
to do
Grax. It is
the
worth
cool
it.
Stuff
it's better at the
end. About. Okay. I'll persist.
It's no 7 Days to Die, but it's a...
no game is.
That's that's the opposite game to that, essentially.
Bungie have done a really good job optimizing Destiny 2. So it runs obviously really well on like Brett, yours computer and my computer, and Grax has a beastie computer as well. But how does it run on yours, Michael? And I don't mean that in like a bad way.
Don't be like one of those people that's like, yeah, it runs fine, because I hate when people say it runs fine. Like, what the fuck does fine mean? You doing 30 frames a second?
Like in the options, you can get like an FPS counter up on your screen. Like,
I do, because I'm a bit of I like to.
Okay, so what do you kind of hit in FPS?
Okay, well, I had like the VSync on at 60 frames per second, and it would honestly always sit at 60.
Yeah.
When there was like lots going on, it might drop to 46.
And so this is on very low settings, is it? Or potato? Is that potato setting?
This is it was like black and white and like
monochrome.
All the aliens.
It looks like Wolfenstein 3D.
Yeah, all the aliens were like a square, so I was shooting like a blobs at squares. No, it was I had it on like I don't know, very high textures, shadows on low. I think all the environmental stuff, the pop-up stuff, was at medium. I had the FX AA, the full screen anti-eyelashing or whatever, anti-eyelashing.
No, it's anti-eyelashing.
Eyelashing.
Eyelashes, full X anti-eyelashes, and I don't know, a couple of things. It looks nice. It probably looks better than it would on the PS4, and and then I turned VSync off, and it honestly runs most of the time at 80. It'll maybe drop to like 50 sometimes, but
I've got to say, it's very well optimized.
Yeah, I was impressed. It's the first game in a long time I've had anti-eyelashes on.
Actually, just on settings, can I ask you guys a quick question? Does anybody else do what I do when you get a new game and you just put all the settings up to ultra, and then when the game
slowly knock them back?
Then you slowly go, can I sacrifice this one? Can I sacrifice this?
But I'm like, I don't like to curse myself. I'm like, I don't want to push it too much, and then suddenly, for whatever bizarre reason, Gremlins will go into my computer and it will never run as smoothly as it is now. So I kind of like I put it up.
I've actually left the last couple of games like Destiny and Wolfenstein. I've just gone, fuck it. I'll just leave it on recommended, and I did this with Forza as well, and that's like. And I was like, rather than, because otherwise I actually tend to obsess over it the whole game, and I'll keep changing it. And I was like, fuck it, I'll just leave it on recommended, whatever that is, and it's good. Just not worry about it, and then that was fine, and it runs good. So
the first, the whole campaign, or actually the first 10 hours, I kept on like turning the FPS counter on and off. Yeah. Then I would keep on double checking the settings, and like just keep looking at them and going, is it running perfectly? Could it run a little bit better? And then I would always, like, rather than actually being in the fight, I would just look at the FPS counter.
Yeah.
Go, okay.
You're like, that shadow looks a bit blocky. Better put the shadows up to medium. Oh, hang on. Actually, I think it dropped down to 60 there. That guy looks like shit. Yeah. It's like, fuck's sake.
Yeah. So that was the first 10 hours of the game.
I wonder if everyone does that. Or is it just like some weirdo thing?
Or is it just us?
No, I think
Chris just goes recommended, bang, straight in.
I just go to NVIDIA like experience and go set, and it does it for me.
I have found these days, like specifically in the last year or two, they're pretty good. Like if you do recommended, like it pretty much hits the nail on the head, like gets it where it should be, without too much tweaking.
It used to be pretty terrible. Actually, most games is pretty terrible.
Also, if any listeners, if you do actually play Destiny 2 on PC, we have started up a Control Alt Record clan. So if you are interested at all in joining that, feel free to let us on Facebook and all that stuff. We'll put a post up there to say, hey, here it is here. So here's a link. But if you are interested in joining, because we'd like to do continue to do the Nightfalls, get stuck into the raids, and I think it'd be really cool if anyone listening to us would like to come play Destiny 2 with us.
No Nazis.
No Nazis, though.
No, definitely
not. Do we want to talk about the story at all? Like, I really like Gore.
I'm kind of bored of talking about this. Oh, okay.
Yeah, true enough. I mean, I think you are.
Okay, do we have to do the quiz? Are we doing the quiz still?
That's right. Look, we've still got the quiz to do. I think we can. There's a lot more. That's fine.
Does anyone think it's weird that like the Cabal are like basically Rome, but the leader of the Cabal is called Gaul?
They're the Romans.
Yeah, they're Romans, but like the Romans basically like killed all the.
They're like robot Romans or something. No, they're not robots. They have robot armor. And the leader of the Romans is called Gaul, even though like ancient Rome killed all the Gaul people. Well, maybe it was inspired by that.
I reckon there's a lot more, I think, with Destiny 2 we can go into. So I reckon we maybe do an extra episode to talk about
next time.
Because we do
definitely
still got the quiz.
Definitely some cool quests and things, like even after my little rant. Like I enjoyed, the ambush quest and a couple of the other ones so far. It's pretty cool.
I even like Kate. Like, I hate the funny characters, but I didn't mind it. I didn't hate it. See, I
don't think there was any funny characters.
Kate, he's like, oh, I've got
Kate is great.
I don't remember any jokes that were like actually good, or is it just?
Really? I normally hate everything. I normally hate literally everything.
Yeah,
but,
I actually thought he had a few good one-liners.
Yeah. I don't remember any.
Anyway,
I was like,
I think we'll come back to Destiny 2.
I think Activision's got some sort of new patent we don't know about. It's like
why do I bother?
Brainwashing. And so I'm getting lamer by the second. The more I
you're like, you would have hated yourself. Like, if I talked to Michael like 2 years ago and said this is what he's like now, we'd gone, oh fuck, I hate that guy.
What a loser!
Yeah,
he likes a game. Oh my god!
Yeah, and he likes like the funny character, and he's laughing at the lame jokes.
He thinks it's actually.
You guys are so wacky with your wacky jokes.
It's getting old.
Yeah.
So we'll come back to Destiny in another episode. Third time's a charm. We'll see if we can move on to the quiz.
And another thing I really liked was when they did.
You know why Michael's delaying this, don't you?
Because he's the quiz master.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Do you actually have a quiz ready?
Because I'm good.
It's all about Destiny 2.
It's all good.
Yeah. Better not be fucking Dark Souls questions, I swear to God.
All right, let's go.
Dark Souls D&D.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, question 1.
Okay, do we just go? Do we have a jingle?
No, we don't have anything. We're not doing jingles anymore. They're too hard.
Okay, question 1. Who was the developer of the hit game King's Field?
Oh, what? King's Field?
King's Field, the smash hit game.
Did you just make that up?
PlayStation 1.
PlayStation 1.
Was it a PlayStation game?
Yeah,
Chris.
PlayStation game. Chris. Oh, sorry.
You know what?
Hang on. Brett. Was that Brett?
Grax.
Yeah.
No.
Go, Brett.
I didn't even hear.
No, Grax wants to answer.
What? I said my name first.
Oh,
okay.
Brett,
All right, you go.
No, all right, you go. Okay, so
I was just going to go complete guess and
sorry,
say...
Grax. Brett was first.
Okay, Brett, go
I
for
wasn't first. I don't know.
I didn't hear the other guys. I only heard Brett.
Did you mute
Brett,
us?
if you want to concede, then you can give it to Grax.
I'll give it to whoever was first out of them two, which I think might have been Chris because he seems upset about it.
Okay, Chris, go for it.
I have no idea, so I'm just taking a stab in the dark. Oh.
Go.
Go, Chris. We're waiting for your stats.
Soft.
Neversoft. Who's that? Oh, they made the Neverhood. Incorrect. Go for it, Grax.
So I have no clue either, but I was going to have a guess and say, due to your love for the company, I was going to say From Software.
Well done.
Oh, I was going to actually say that as a funny answer, and then I was like, no, it's too obvious.
Joking.
Okay.
Of course I'm going to...
Fuck.
That's just the,
Was that like a quantum answer? Because he knew what you were going to say before you said it, probably.
It's similar.
Different
sort of.
Okay,
question 2.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, the next question is, what was the first smash hit game released by Bungie Software on 1991?
Oh, fuck.
I think I know the obvious answer, but...
1991, though, that's pretty old.
Yeah. Fuck.
Okay, I'll change it.
It's a good question.
What was the smash hit IP released by Bungie before their second smash hit IP?
That's no easier. That's the same question, just read out in a different way.
No, it isn't, because the first game's different. Okay, so smash hit IP that was only released on... Oh, no, it did have a release on Windows, but it was mostly played on the Macintosh.
Oh, no. Okay.
Macintosh.
I wouldn't have a clue. I'll give
you a clue. I've already given you one with the Macintosh. To do one of these, you have to run a very long distance.
Chris? Is it marathon?
Correct, Amundo.
Hey, look at this.
All right, next question.
How is Macintosh a clue for that?
No, the second clue is you have to do it. You have to run very far.
I got the second clue, but the first one.
Okay.
What's that got to do
The
with
second question is, what is the second smash hit IP by
Brett.
Bungie Software?
Brett.
Go for it, Brett.
Sprint.
Halo.
Incorrect.
Oh,
that is the third.
Chris.
I'll give you a clue.
No, why did they get a clue? I already answered.
Yeah, because you answered too
Okay,
quickly.
I'll do a fresh... Okay, sorry, Chris, you go.
I'm going to say high jump.
Incorrect.
Okay.
I get it because it's like another.
I'm gonna go Marathon 2.
Incorrect. Smash Hit IP. I'll give you all a clue.
Dark Souls.
The
I should get a point for that just because it's
No. So these are like... They're like stories that people tell.
Oh, Grex!
Yep.
Grex.
Yeah, correct.
Myth.
Correct.
I think we talked about this like a couple of weeks ago, didn't we?
I didn't even realize that.
Final
How'd
question.
they go from that trash to...
This isn't the final question. I actually have some good questions. These are like the brainstorm ones. I wanted to get in a festive mood for Destiny 2. So what year was the smash hit game Halo Combat Evolved released?
Brett.
Ooh.
Go for it, Brett.
2001.
Correct.
Yes. Fucking bang. I nearly fell off the chair. I was so excited.
All right. Now, this is a little bit different.
Be careful.
This is a little bit different.
How many points are we on? Are we one each?
Okay, Brett's
I've
on
got
one,
two.
Brett's on two, and Chris on one. These are a little bit different, okay? So this is like I'm going to give you a plot of a game, and you need to tell me what that game is.
Oh, cool. Okay. That's
Okay,
interesting.
cool. That sounds good.
Okay, what am I going to do?
Look at Michael thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
This is a bit of it. No. This okay. This is an. Should you want an easy one or an?
Did he just cut out?
Yeah.
He did for me.
I said, do you want an easy one or nothing?
Do you want an easy one or an esoteric one?
Just whatever, man. Whatever you think.
You pick it,
Well,
man.
you guys tell me. Easy or
Oh,
not?
are we going to... okay.
Okay, easy. Okay, a sword fighter must recover various parts of an ancient artifact.
Brett.
Okay, I hear Brett.
Dark Souls.
Incorrect.
Oh.
And the rest of the question...
Sword fighter must recovers various pieces of an ancient artifact, a variety of dungeons and lost places in a world.
Chris?
Dark Souls 2.
Yeah, go for it, Chris.
Is it like one of the Zelda games?
Yes, it is The Legend of Zelda.
Yay!
Hey.
He said one of them though. That doesn't really.
Well, I mean,
Well,
it's-
Is it a game? Was it a game that was released?
They literally will call it The Legend of Zelda ... So anyway,
close enough.
okay, all right. This is another easy one. Create your own kingdom, or town, or village, or house in a world made of cubes.
Brett.
Chris, damn it.
Brett.
Minecraft.
Correct.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Ooh.
That's all right.
Everyone's on
Jeez,
two.
Chris,
Do we want to
what?
make this? Everyone's on two. Do we want to make this a tiebreaker, or do you want to have a couple more?
They're pretty good questions, I think.
I was going to say they're actually going well now.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple more.
Okay,
impressed.
I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit, and I'm gonna give you a quote, and you have to tell me what game this quote is from.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna start with a medium one. Okay, this is a medium one.
Is that the quote?
Like a
Super
psychic
effective.
medium.
No. This is a medium difficulty.
Oh, I
You ready?
see.
I'm gonna say it now. It's super effective.
That could be anything.
It's super effective.
It's super effective.
Can you add like
Brett.
the voice to it?
Yeah, go for it, Brett.
Pokemon.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
that was pretty much a stab in the dark. I was sort of like my
okay.
brain somehow linked that. I don't know. Weird.
Okay.
Same way I
This is
programmed
an
the
easy
Zelda.
one. Would you kindly ... Would you kindly ...
Would you?
The main thing is would you kindly.
Is it kind of like Would You Rather?
No. Would you kindly do this for me? Would you kindly do that?
Fuck off.
Would you kindly do this? Would you kindly
Sounds
do that?
like any quest giver from any MMO.
It's from a very specific one.
Chris.
Specific, yeah. Go for it.
He Googled it.
Wow.
Incorrect.
Uh.
Would you kindly do this?
Brett.
Would you kindly do... Yeah, go for it.
EverQuest.
Incorrect.
Yeah.
Guys, it's like a major plot point.
Give me more information.
Would you kindly do this? Would you kindly do that?
I feel like you got to have a time limit, Grax. You got to just say
Would you
something.
kindly hit yourself with a... would you kindly hit me with this golf club?
Just take a swing.
I'm sick of living in this underwater city that I've made that's gone to shit.
Oh, hang on.
Would you kindly do this or would you kindly do that?
That was a big clue.
BioShock.
Yeah.
You just fucking gave him the answer by saying that. That's so... yeah.
All right.
You're like, this game called
Do we count it or
BioShock.
not?
Yeah. No, you pretty... Oh, I don't know. I feel like
But he also said it was
Underwater
like
City.
MMO.
That's like... Yeah, you
I'll
could
give
say
it half.
MMO.
You got
Actually,
half.
You could have said Subnautica.
it's not an MMO. You kind of you fucked us over there because you said MMO, then we said an MMO game, and then you just changed it to BioShock.
I never ever said MMO.
I said that's like any quest giver in any MMO, and you said it's just a very specific one.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
I think
You did.
Yeah.
It's in the we recorded it.
All right, next question.
Fuck.
Right. Let me have a look. Players spend real money to build a fake farm.
Brett.
What is this game?
Oh.
Farmville.
Correct, Brett.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if Brett gets the next one, I'm going to let him win.
Let me win.
Fine.
As opposed to me actually winning.
I used to play Farmville before when you had to pay for it. Anyway, unrelated.
Let me think. Fighters compete in a deadly martial arts tournament
Grax,
where the fate of the earth is at stake.
Brett.
Mortal Kombat.
Oh,
It is Grax.
shit ass question.
Okay, a bit of a hard one. Prescribe pills of matching colours to annihilate
Brett.
virus. Okay, Brett.
Dr. Mario.
Yeah. We have a wiener.
Woo.
Hot dog, we have a wiener.
Do we actually know what the scoreboard is at the moment?
No idea.
Has anyone kept... No one's kept count.
I was going to say I thought we were even now.
I think it might be even. Because I remember winning one before this one, so I'm on 2.
I think I've won 2. Are we all just on 2?
We might all be on
I
2.
think I've only won one.
Michael might be on
that'll
1. What are you on,
2-1.
Grax? Do you remember how many you've won?
I can't remember. At least one.
At least
Well, there's
one.
only been 6 other episodes, so everyone's like, yeah, I won 5 times.
I've won by all of them, more or less.
Yeah.
And we didn't do a quiz. We didn't do a quiz last week, did we?
No, so...
So that would actually mean
So someone's lying, basically.
Well, no, because if we've done 2
one.
each, if
Yeah.
Brett and I have done 2,
Yeah.
and then Michael and Grax have had 1,
That's 6, and we haven't
that's
done
6. And we've done 6 quizzes.
Oh, we have done 6, yeah, including this one.
Oh, okay.
Including this one.
Yes, okay, good.
Because there's...
Sorted.
All right.
Done.
So
We'll
write that
definitely
down?
remember that for next week, that's for sure.
If only there was some way to record what
No,
we say.
somehow if it was stored somehow.
perhaps someone should pin it on Facebook.
One of those Neanderthal console players can write it on their cable.
Take a picture of it, add it to Facebook for us. Cool. So that is it. That wraps up episode 7. So thank you so much for listening. I think after Destiny 2 was so much more to talk about. So maybe, if we remember, we'll do an extra episode.
I wouldn't promise that.
That's why I said maybe.
Perhaps.
Maybe.
It's a game I like, so basically I'm going to try to railroad everyone into talking every time that I'm on. So, listener, you will be hearing more about Destiny 2.
That's fine with me. I enjoy it. So
Until you get bored
cool.
of it.
I'm just joking.
Well, after the first 200 hours, yeah, fine. Cool. So thank you so much for listening. Jump onto Facebook, jump onto Twitter. We love hearing from all of our listeners, all 2 of you. Okay, maybe 3.
There's a couple of others.
Tay and his girlfriend listen at the same time, so that's 2.
But does that count as one?
No, that counts as 1. We only get one
It's one
download.
download.
Cool. But that's it. Thank you so much. We will catch you again for our next episode. Until then, see ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.